Wcbi News at 6 starts now.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Cash Matlock.
And I'm Riley Livingston. Webster County Sheriff Tim Mitchell is now in the Lee County Adult Detention Center, but nothing has changed about his case except his location. Lee County Sheriff Jim Johnson says his office was asked to house Mitchell by agencies handling his case. Mitchell has been in the Lafayette County Jail since his 12 felony arrest charges back on December 19th.
Well, first responders on the scene of an accident say a Vernon, Alabama teen is lucky to be alive after her car slammed into a tree. And the accident happened today just after 3 p.m. in Caledonia. And the unidentified 18-year-old female was traveling west on Highway 12. Family members say on the scene she was headed to Columbus from Vernon, Alabama for work, and first responders believe the wet weather caused her car to hydroplane and spin around before slamming into a tree on the passenger side. The 18-year-old was transported by ambulance to Baptist Memorial for what appeared to be non-life-threatening injuries. The Mississippi Highway Patrol is investigating the accident.
President Trump is turning to social media in an effort to pressure Democrats into reaching a deal as the partial government shutdown reached a milestone. Kenneth Craig has the latest from New York.
President Trump fired off a series of tweets Saturday as the partial government shutdown entered day 22, the longest in U.S. history. Mr. Trump tweeted, "Democrats could solve the shutdown in 15 minutes. Tell them to get it done. Humanitarian crisis." Congress has adjourned until next week, and so far Democrats have denied the president's request for more than $5 billion to fund a border wall.
We have a better idea about how to secure our border, to do so with technology and infrastructure that is smart.
The president has threatened to declare border security a national emergency.
But if we don't make a deal, I would say it would be very surprising to me that I would not declare a national emergency and just fund it.
A CBS News poll found that 47% of Americans say they blame President Trump for the partial government shutdown. 30% say they blame Democrats in Congress, and just 3% blame Republicans. Caught in the middle are some 800,000 federal workers who did not receive paychecks Friday. Food banks are helping out by distributing emergency groceries to those furloughed or working without pay.
Not everyone makes the same amount of money, and a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck.
Mr. Trump says he will sign legislation from Congress that gives back pay to every federal worker affected by the shutdown. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, New York.
The Trump administration is considering a plan that would divert emergency funds from the Army Corps of Engineers to pay for border security. It's now time for a first look at our forecast with meteorologist Jacob Riley. What's our weather looking like, Jacob?
Hey there, Riley. It's been nasty across the area today. We saw some heavy rainfall. It's pretty chilly out there right now, too. We're currently sitting in the lower 50s, 50 Starkville, 51 Winona, 46 degrees there in Oxford. Most of that rain has pushed on out of our area, most of it there in central Alabama, but we did pick up a little bit. Most of us saw between a half to 3/4 of an inch of rainfall. Luckily, all that has pushed out of our area now, but tonight will be chilly. We're going to stay in the mid-50s till about 11. Then after then, our temperatures will begin to drop down into the 40s, and the next couple of days are going to be cold. Monday, highs only in the 40s. I'll have more coming up on when that sunshine is finally going to make a few peaks back coming up a little later in the show. Riley?
All right, well, thanks, Jacob. Well, financial literacy was the goal of a workshop in West Point this morning. The Clay County Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority sponsored the event. Wilma Peterson from Mississippi State University's Institute for Market Studies was the featured speaker. Topics included how to write a check, creating a budget, and improving your credit score. DST member Janice Andrews says the new year is a time when most people plan to take charge of their personal finances, so it was the perfect time for today's workshop.
I'm hoping that everybody be aware of their finances, where you are. You know, sometimes it may be a little sad when you realize you may not have any money to where you want to accomplish. And, you know, because right now, everybody needs to be aware of creating a budget. So if nothing else from this workshop, for everyone to be able to create a budget, to know what they have and what they're trying to accomplish with their budget.
Well, the Clay County Alumni Chapters host monthly workshops on a variety of topics from September to February.
The Jim Henson Imagination Unlimited exhibition opened up to the public today at the Mississippi Arts and Entertainment Experience building in Meridian.
That's right, Riley. And I actually got to travel back to my hometown and talk with exhibit administrators as well as family members of Jim Henson. And I got to see what makes the exhibit so special and why it's important to our state.
In the Henson exhibit, you're going to see over 20 original puppets. You're going to see sketches from work, early work and then work that he was developing at the time of his death.
Jim Henson is best known for his classic children's TV programs and movies like Sesame Street, The Muppets, The Dark Crystal, The Labyrinth, and more. The current exhibit featured at the Mississippi Arts and Entertainment Experience building in Meridian is a tribute to the Mississippi native's legacy.
My father was born in Leland, Mississippi, and he spent a lot of time on the banks of Deer Creek. And many of us feel that that is the environment in which Kermit was born. When you watch the opening scene of the Muppet movie and Kermit is singing Rainbow Connection, and you look at that environment, that landscape, and that is Mississippi Delta. There's no question that Kermit is a Mississippian.
Jim Henson's daughter, Cheryl Henson, says Kermit the Frog reminds her of her father.
I think with puppetry that the puppeteer's personality comes out more than being based on an outside person. And so when I look at my father's different characters, I see different aspects of him. And the one that reminds me of my father the most is Kermit.
And exhibit administrators say they want the new exhibit to inspire Mississippians.
There's so many negative thoughts and images about our state around the country and the world, frankly, that this really showcases who we are as a people and gets to the heart of who we are as a people.
Jim Henson may have died in 1990, but his work lives on. In fact, Sesame Street just celebrated their 50th season of production, and the Jim Henson Company has a few new projects on the horizon.
And we have a Netflix series, a 10-part series that is a prequel to The Dark Crystal. Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance on Netflix coming up is probably the most exciting puppet production happening.
Well, the exhibit started today and will last until May 4th. For more information on how to visit the Jim Henson exhibit or the Mississippi Arts and Entertainment Experience, you can visit our website at wcbi.com.
A Tupelo woman finds the man of her dreams, who in the process helps give her a unique perspective on life. Many women grow up dreaming about meeting the man of their dreams. One Tupelo woman found that the man of her dreams will give her a unique perspective on life.
And WCBI's Chad Groening talked with the couple and has more.
Eric and Kendra Knox got married this past September and celebrated their union with a very special first dance. Eric has been a paraplegic since age 15 when he was involved in an auto accident. Things were tough for a while, but it led him to a career as an occupational therapist helping others. And then he met Kendra.
Honestly, I was kind of a little apprehensive to the idea of marriage at first, and I didn't see any other girls out there that I felt really felt the same way about marriage as I did, and I didn't want to devote my life to somebody who at the first sign of trouble might divorce me.
But Eric knew she was the right one and proposed during a hot air balloon ride over the skies of Memphis.
I would never have imagined in a million years that God would have me marry a man who was in a wheelchair. In fact, the lady that set us up, the first question she asked me was, would you ever consider dating somebody who was in a wheelchair? And, I prayed about it and thought about it, and I said, if he loves Jesus more than anything, then yeah.
And the Knoxes have had to make adjustments that other couples don't have to deal with.
There are little things that we've discovered as a couple that we can't do together, but there are so much more for the kingdom of God that we can do, ways to love people, and to find somebody who has a passion for people like Eric does is so rare that I knew that I was really getting a jewel in finding him.
We didn't only just make vows to each other, we also made vows to God that we would love each other for the rest of our lives. And, that's what, I know her relationship with God, and I know my relationship with God, and I know that He is more important to her than I am. And that's what really holds our marriage together.
Eric and Kendra believe that with faith, anything is possible. Chad Groening, WCBI News, Tupelo.
Eric and Kendra hope their story will be an inspiration to others who face similar challenges.
We're in store for a cold and windy night. Lows will drop down into the lower 40s. That rain is going to move on out of our area, though. Coming up after the break, I'll let you know when we could see some more peaks of sunshine headed our way. Stay with us.
WCBI First Alert AccuWeather Forecast with meteorologist Jacob Riley.
Well, it's been a rainy day across our area today. Taking a look at our Alpha Insurance time-lapse cameras, you can see those rain showers and those clouds moving through our area today. It is a nasty Saturday. Highs we're only in the lower 50s, and it's still pretty nasty out there right now. We do have a few sprinkles left here across portions of the area. Most of that is out of our area, pushed over to Alabama, but we did see some pretty heavy totals today, around 6.8 or 0.68 inches there in Vernon, a little over half an inch there in Columbus as well there in Calhoun City, but most of that rain has pushed out of our area. It is a little warmer to our south, 58 in Jackson, 51 here, but some of those bluer colors are going to work their way down to our area. And areas across Missouri and Illinois, they actually saw a lot of snow over the past 24 hours out of the system. Some portions of Missouri saw upwards of 18 inches. Luckily, just rain here for us. And back on out to our west, not too much to worry about that's going to be headed our way over the next couple of days. But tomorrow will be pretty gusty with those winds. We're going to see sustained winds between 10 and 15 miles an hour. Tomorrow, this is Sunday at 1 p.m. We do have those gusty winds. We could see gusts upwards of 20 miles an hour as we go throughout your day on Sunday. So a very blustery, cold day is in store for us tomorrow. Luckily, though, no rain to worry about. We will see a few sprinkles out there, though, as we go throughout your Sunday. Temperatures are actually going to fall as we go throughout the day. So we're going to be warmer during the morning time than what will be as we go on throughout your Sunday and Sunday night as well. Temperatures dropping down into the 30s by 10 p.m. tomorrow. So another cold day is in store for us tomorrow, a little bit colder than what we saw today. We'll top out at 45 in Carthage, 45 Ackerman, 46 degrees there in Philadelphia. No rain to worry about for your Sunday. We could see a few sprinkles across the western portions of our area, but here in western Alabama, we'll top out at 50 in Reform, 47 in Sulligent. And the main story for your Sunday are those gusty winds there out of the northwest, around 10 to 15 miles an hour. Top out at 47 Calhoun City, 47 degrees as well in Bruce. And taking a wider look as we go on into next week, this is on Tuesday here. We'll see some moisture come in from our south and west. We won't have to worry about that rain, but we will see some warmer temperatures come in with that. So your 7-day forecast is looking a little bit warmer, Riley, thankfully. As we get on into Wednesday and Thursday, those highs will return to the 60s just in time for our next rain chances to move in.
The Humphrey Coliseum plays host to a rivalry that's its oldest time itself. Highlights from Mississippi State and Ole Miss coming up next in sports.
Your WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb.
It was only a season ago that not only did Ole Miss not have a single ranked win, they didn't have a single SEC win. Now the Rebels have 2 upsets and a 3-0 conference streak to follow it. In a back-and-forth battle between the Rebels and the Bulldogs in Starkville, Ole Miss was picked at the bottom of the conference before the start of the season, would quickly rise to the top. Rivalry hoops happening in Starkville this afternoon. The Rebels taking on 14th ranked Mississippi State, and Mississippi State breaking the press early. Lamar Peters slick pass to Nick Weatherspoon, gets an easy 2 points there, and the Rebels always came back with an answer. Terrence Davis finds Dominic Olenichik, gathers himself for the 2-hand jam. A nice play by him. It would be a back-and-forth ball game early. 6 lead changes in the first half. Mississippi State looking for a spark. They'd get it in the freshman from Columbus. Peters finds Robert Woodard down low. The 2-hand jam and the foul. And then later in the first, Peters again to Woodard. Puts Davis on skates. A jumper +1. Woodard would be fired up. He gets 7 points in 8 first-half minutes for the freshman. Mississippi State would lead by as much as 11, but the Rebels make a run. Breein Tyree drives hard to the hole, plus the contact, grab the and one. Defense lead into offense. Nice pass from Peters to Abdul Adu, but rejected by Blake Hinson. Rebels get out on the break. Devontae Schuler capitalizes. Be a transition triple for him. The Bulldogs lead would cut to 2 at the half. And then out of the break, Bulldogs hit back hard. Lamar Peters misses, but Adu corrals the offensive board and puts it in with authority. The Bulldogs go up as much as 9, but Ole Miss rallying again with an answer. Drains the triple. and then the loose ball, but KJ Buffin finds Hinson. He was on fire in this game. One more time in transition. Crazy pass. The Rebels get it. And Tyree to Hinson. Bang! It's in. 16 second half points for Hinson gives the Rebels an 8-point lead. The Dogs would not stop going. Cross-court pass to Eric Holman. Don't foul the shooter. Holman makes the Rebels pay with the one triple, but would miss the free throw. And then the Dogs down 3 with 1:30 left. Peters to Nick Weatherspoon. Cold as ice at 77 all with a minute left. And Bruce Stevens in some trouble here somehow. Finds Brian Tyree. Tyree with ice in his veins sinks the tough left-hand layup for the lead. And that, ladies and gentlemen, would do it. Ole Miss stuns Mississippi State 81-77. The Rebels pick up back-to-back top 15 wins. The Bulldogs fall 0-2 in SEC play. Sports Director Tom Ebel reports in Starkville with more on the rivalry upset.
Courtney Kermit Davis said after the game that the final 6 minutes of the first half was the difference for Ole Miss. Mississippi State went up by 10, looked to possibly be running away with this one, but the Rebels responded, making it a 2-point deficit at halftime. But that was the MO for Ole Miss all game long. Mississippi State made a run, went up by 9, went up by 8, but the Rebels kept battling back. As Kermit Davis has said all week that the Rebels are looking for national respect, he anticipates they're going to handle a possible top 25 ranking this upcoming week just fine.
After the Vanderbilt game, how we handled Auburn, after that emotional win against Auburn, how our guys came out in practice and paid close attention to detail. I mean, we're in a hotel ballroom this morning at 7 o'clock, and these guys were bright-eyed and paying attention right to the scout. And so the only thing I can tell you, I can let you know in practice, you know, and I can let you know in about 15 minutes of how our team's going to respond.
Every day we feel like we are a national team. We should be one of the best. We should be in all the best games, and we're one of the better teams in the nation. As long as we carry that attitude, we should be okay.
Today we were really emotional, and because of in the rivalry, and we were showing almost too much emotion, being too high, being too low, and things are going well. And you got to be more even keel with our emotions.
If we know how good we are, we know we're going to continue to work hard. We're going to stay uplifted and practice hard. And Coach Allen's going to do a good job with us.
Bulldogs freshman Robert Woodard was the spark plug for Mississippi State in the first half, scoring 7 points in 8 minutes. When asked after the game why Woodard only saw 1 minute in the second half, head coach Ben Howland said, "That's on me. It was a coaching error and something that he's going to correct as SEC play moves forward." Next time we'll see Ole Miss and Mississippi State in action will be Tuesday. Ole Miss home against LSU, and Mississippi State will be back here in Starkville taking on the Florida Gators. As for the game, this felt like an NCAA tournament atmosphere. Both teams at this point in the season project to be playing meaningful games in March. Ole Miss, they're off to a great start, 3-0 in the SEC, as Mississippi State continues to fight and look for that first SEC win of the 2019 season. Reporting here in Starkville, Tom Ebel for WCBI Sports. Courtney will send it back to you in Columbus.
Thank you, Tom. Well, Mississippi State will have an opportunity to get revenge a little bit later in the season in Oxford against Mississippi State again. But that's going to be it for sports. Your last look is coming up next. Stick with us.
Most of the rain has pushed out. We still have a few sprinkles out there, but we will be cold for Monday. No rain to worry about then, but as we head into the end of next week, it's coming back.
I was enjoying a little bit of break. We hope everyone has a great evening.
And join us back here at 10.